Arizona. I hit up quite a few shops. I did have 2 almost full days of digging in Arizona. One with my girlfriend, we kind of drove around checking out the Phoenix area, hitting up shops. And then the next day on my own, I was able to kind of go out and hit the shops that we weren't able to hit the day before. Everything, you know, there's quite a few shops to hit. And I pretty much, I think I hit all the ones on my list that I had researched. So first one was actually not too far away from where we were, well, nothing was too far away, but it was kind of, you know, the closest one to where I was staying was called Vinyl Dude LLC. So he wasn't there, the owner, but there was a gentleman working there, older gentleman, really nice. And he kind of gave me the lowdown is that the shop is really small. It's like 2 little rooms that are attached, and then you can see the space in the back is huge. So I was like, what, you know? And then I didn't find anything in the store for me. I mean, there was a couple things that, like I said, maybe I would have grabbed, said in my previous video, if it was locally, but I was having to be a bit picky. I knew I couldn't bring back everything. So there was nothing. And then I was like, oh, let me see. I asked the guy, is there anything on Discogs? And on Discogs, I don't remember, it was some ridiculous number of records he had for sale. And I'm like, this place is huge and you have so many records on Discogs. So I think originally it was just, the guy had a warehouse and he was just selling online, but so many people were coming and knock on the door saying like, oh, I want to buy this, saw it online. So he eventually opened up a little storefront as part of his warehouse, because when I was pulling up, it's like really in an industrial area. It's not in like a commercial storefront area at all. So yeah, anyway, there was a couple things. It was a bit, I mean, they were listed on Discogs. I found the prices on the high side. What I ended up grabbing was this Southside Movement. So one that I, once again, had not too familiar with, but I know very recognizable cover. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I know it's a record that people dig. And then that was on one day. Then a few days later was like a full day of digging, the one I went out with my girlfriend. First stop I think was called the Record Room, if I'm not, no, first stop was Zia Records. Zia Records is a chain, so I really didn't have high expectations for this because there's 5 or 6 locations. I can't remember, and so I was thinking it's going to be all new stuff. It said they had used online, but I was like, you know, I can't imagine finding much. Anyway, I was wrong. And some other shop owners told me, oh, Zia, you're not going to find anything there, but I found stuff. Like all of them had something. I bought a record at every one except one, and I think I went to 4, if not 5 of them. So yeah, Zia Records, definitely recommend. It's kind of thing, it's luck of the draw. There's definitely some nice things, higher priced items there that I left behind. Like if you're going through, you know, there was a Terry Callier I've seen at one. There was their first Meters record, Sun Ra, Astro Black, some Rare Blue, Hank Mobley. There was some stuff. Anyway, so the first one I ended up leaving with was this Soul Children record on Stax, which is one that I had added to my want list many years ago, but didn't want to buy it online. I figured one day I'd find it, and I did. And then this Betty Crutcher record, I can't remember who had posted this online. It might have been Rob Late Bloomer, but I could be wrong. Long As You Love Me. It's a cheap soul record on Enterprise, but really dope. I had listened to it a bunch in the car years ago and really enjoyed it. So I was glad I was patient and found a copy. So that was the first Zia Records stop. And then it was Record Room. This I grabbed just because this, I don't know. I don't have this record and I want it, and I've seen it so many times and I keep not grabbing it and then kind of regretting it. And I recently had seen it in Montreal, so then I was like, I'm just gonna buy this. I ended up seeing probably 5 copies while I was there, but I grabbed one. And then this I already have, but it was, you know, I thought the price was very reasonable and I love this record, so I decided to bring another copy home, although it doesn't really make sense considering I was supposed to be very picky with what I was grabbing, to be buying doubles. But anyway, love this record, so maybe I'll gift that to someone. That was record high. Then another Zia Records, the one that had the meters, the Sun Ra. There was a Donny Hathaway live, but the condition was meh. There was a couple other records I almost bought, but condition of cover record was off. Anyway, I ended up grabbing this one. This was up on the wall. No, was this on the wall? Yeah. And there was some crates of stuff that they let me look through that I guess was like wall stuff, but their wall was full. But yeah, so one that I had always wanted, Joe Bataan Sal Soul on Americana Records. Okay, I think, the only other place I went to, on that same day, I went to Stinkweeds and another store that's like around the corner from Stinkweeds. The name's escaping me, didn't buy anything there. I did go to the In Groove, which many of you may be familiar with, even though you're not from the area, because Mike has a channel, quite a popular channel on YouTube. There's, I didn't have high expectations. I knew there'd be good records there. I was told that it was expensive. I could have spent more time in there. I was kind of rushed because it was toward the end of our day. My girlfriend was pretty fed up, but I did go through the whole jazz section and I think the soul section, and there was a bunch of records I wanted, but it was just like, I found it was, he ultrasonic cleans them, he puts them in beautiful sleeves, so the value's there. But like when I was pulling out the records and I was looking at the price, I'm like, okay, this price is high, but the condition just didn't match for me. There was marks or whatever. I was like, I can't justify paying higher than it's ever sold for on Discogs for not a perfect copy, and I wasn't play testing them, so maybe these marks didn't make any sounds, I don't know, but it just seemed a little excessive to me, the price. But he's in a new location, really clean. Like I said, everything's in beautiful sleeves, the records are clean. So he does really well. They had a great selection. One thing that drove me a little nuts was his new stuff I don't know how much overstock he has of new stuff, but like it seems like it's all in the bin. So like Herbie Mann live at the Village Gate, I think I counted 27 copies of the same reissue in the bins. So, and it's like you're going through reissues and used are mixed together, but there'll be like 10 copies of a reissue. So a little annoying, but overall beautiful store and a good selection of records. I did buy only one record there that I thought was a fair price. I won't share it because I might gift it to someone, and I don't want that person to know what it is if they're watching. Okay, so the next day was Uncle Aldo's attic. I don't remember the fellow's name. I think he had an uncle named Aldo, and this was, at first I was like, wasn't sure about this shop, and ended up really liking it. And I liked the gentleman working there, or the owner. He was probably the nicest guy, most conversational, friendly person there. Mike from the In Groove was sort of friendly but kind of standoffish. I mean, he has a lot going on. He's into his things, but this guy was just, I just really liked his energy. Anyway, so I thought I was gonna find nothing, and then he ended up pulling up another box that had some things I wanted. I have to check cleanly, like all this stuff. Some things I've listened to, everything I feel, the condition is like a little, not quite there for me for what I paid. So like I said, I haven't listened to a lot of these, I haven't cleaned them, but I just feel like everyone's trying to squeeze every last dollar out of the record I mean, I get it, it's a business, you need to make money, but like for VG records or records with marks, but they're trying to always get like price it a grade above, basically, is what it seems. So that's what I feel. And that's really what I noticed across the board there. It was like you know, VG Plus records are being priced at like a near mint or VG at VG Plus, and yeah, I'll leave that at that. I grabbed this Alain Toussaint record, Love, Life, and Faith. Really happy to have that. Is Junie, Susie, Super Groupie. Really happy to have that. These are all records that I wanted. This one that Van had showed years ago, Bohannon, Stop and Go. And this I was not familiar with until a few days earlier, but Hugh Mundell, Black Man's Foundation. So that was Uncle Aldo's Attic. I'm gonna have to kind of speed this up because my phone's gonna die, although I'm almost finished. Oh yeah, I really am almost finished. Then I hit up Record High. I would say along with Vinyl Junkies, Uncle Aldo's, Vinyl Junkies was in San Diego, and this shop, Record High, I really liked. Not small, but I guess it feels small because like there's like different rooms in the shop. You walk in, there's like an entrance area with cash, and then there's like 3 separate rooms. Really liked it. Really nice selection of jazz. A lot of stuff that I already had, but you could have gone in there and got a lot of records for a reasonable price. I grabbed it, once again, this is like not being picky at all, but it was seemingly a nice copy, and I wanted to buy something, and anyway, I grabbed this. It seems funny considering I was supposed to be being selective, but Beyond the Blue Horizon, George Benson, I don't see this record, especially not in this like nice condition, and it sounded, from what I sampled, it sounded like a nice, I don't really buy George Benson records, but it sounds like a nice one. This I had added to my want list, and I sampled it again, and I wasn't sure, but it's a cheap record. I'm maybe just, I'll have to listen to it some more. It's a nice record for the time of, year right now, sun coming out, really warm weather coming. Moacir Santos, Carnival of the Spirits. It sounds a little on the soft, smooth side, but anyway, Claire Fisher's on here. I'll get more on Claire Fisher later. Harvey Mason on drums, Roberto Silva. I'm sure I'm gonna get into this. Another jazz record. This was also a double, but I love this record. I don't see it ever, so I grabbed another copy of it. Chico Freeman, The Search. If you're not familiar, check out the title track on this. Soul-stirring, goosebump-inducing music. Warning, it does contain vocals. I know a lot of you have an aversion to jazz vocals. Lineup on here: Chico Freeman, obviously, Cecil McBee, Jay Hoggard, Kenny Barron, Nana Vasconcelos, Billy Hart, and on vocals, the completely mysterious Val Ellie. Never heard of her. Check it out, amazing. And I grabbed this soul record, Fontella Bass, Free, who I'm familiar with through her work with the Art Ensemble of Chicago. And I'm not familiar with this at all, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Lastly, Zia Records, another Zia Records. There was less at this, but still a couple things that I either already had or decided not to get, but what I did grab was this, Claire Fisher. I need to clean this up because from what I've just played it this week and was not super impressed with the condition for what they were asking. Not that, I thought the price was fair, but I guess I'll clean it up and see if it plays any better. But this is a solo Claire Fisher record, Great White Hope, where so you play combo organ and Fender Rhodes, so all solo. I've seen this posted and stuff, so I'll check it out and see. From what I think there's a Dilla sample on here. I don't remember what song it is. You Call It Madness, I believe that's the track. You Call It Madness. So that's the last record I bought. I did also go to Ghost of East Side Records and Double Nickels Collective. Someone told me to go to Double Nickels Collective. Ghost of East Side Records, apparently it's the same place. I don't know if they changed the name or what the deal, so it was on my list. Cool shop, totally different than a lot of those like other clean, curated, like new sleeve shops. This was like very eccentric dudes, talking loud, having fun, kind of messy shop, tatty sleeves, tatty plastic, but it was fun to dig through. I didn't find anything. I'm sure over the years there's been some amazing stuff there, but there was nothing for me that day. There was a couple records but the condition was a little off. I did hit up one last Zia Records, which is just like 500 meters maybe from there. Didn't find anything at that one, but overall it felt like I was not finding much. But when you add up the number of shops I went to, this is not even all the records, but I came home with all these records, and I was doing carry-on. So the trip from San Diego to Arizona wasn't so bad with, I just carried them on the plane. I had my backpack, the carry-on, and then a third bag of records. But then once I was leaving Arizona, the stack was quite heavy to just hold in my hand. So I was able to like shove half of them in my carry-on suitcase in that top section, and then carry the rest in my hand. Was still pretty heavy, but I managed to bring back this big stack all on the plane, in my carry-on and in my hands. So pretty well done. I overall had a lot of fun going to the shops. There was a lot of good stuff. I would say what I didn't see was like walking in and seeing records on the wall where I was like, holy shit, like even overpriced holy shit records. There was no like crazy rare records, but a lot of good stuff, a higher volume of good stuff, or the stuff that I'm into, than I would ever find in Montreal in a day, hitting up a bunch of shops. So a lot of fun, always fun regardless, to just be checking out different crates, different stores, seeing what the vibe's like, going through fresh crates, because when at your local shops, if you're hitting them regularly, the crates are kind of stale. You're usually just hitting the new arrivals. So a lot of fun, and I look forward to the next trip of digging. Hope everyone is doing well, and I'll be back soon. Peace.